Wonderful. So AI is super cool, right? And I want to talk about a little bit of that today. And you'll see, I'll work into it, and then you'll see what we get to. So a little bit about me first, because I know a lot of people are new at this conference and don't know who I am. My name's Jeffrey Wang. I'm born and raised in Texas, and I'm currently based in Seattle, Washington. I've been passionate about MediaWiki since around 2009, and I joined the MediaWiki stakeholders group, or as a member in 2021, I believe. You can check me on that, but yeah. Anyway, MyWikis is a company founded in 2012. We're a wiki hosting service. Our goal is to make things easy to set up and configure. And 10 years after that, we founded MyWikis Europe. Keep in mind that MyWikis itself was founded before the GDPR was invented. So 10 years later, we realized that a lot of European businesses, organizations, they need something that's GDPR compliant. And so I thought, why not? How do we do this? How do we get this done? And in partnership with KMA and Bernhard and the wonderful folks here in Vienna, we were able to create MyWikis Europe, and the servers are literally in Vienna, Austria. So we're really proud of that. Our driving passion is championing the power of MediaWiki. I hope everyone can relate to that here. We're trying to make MediaWiki accessible to all, and we do that through industry-leading innovation. And now, currently, the industry-leading innovation is artificial intelligence. So before I get started on the main meat of the presentation, I want to get some terms in first so that you'll know what I'm talking about throughout this presentation. So the context is what you're searching in. I guess you call that the artifacts or whatever, but we're not auditors. We are people who do cool stuff. So context. Question, not sorry. That's what you're asking. That's the prompt. The answer is a search result. And we have something called question answering models. These are the class of models that are designed to give answers to the prompts. And then LLMs are large language models. And a great example of that is GPT, and that, of course, powers ChatGPT. I want to recap from EMWCon 2023, where we presented an experimental QA chatbot. It was a proof of concept, but a lot has changed since then. As you'll remember, ChatGPT was released 2 years ago this month. So it was November 2022. There's been so much change in the world. Now we have so many new versions of GPT, Gemini, whatever. There's been so much refinement in the approaches that are taken, and we've been converging on the approaches that work well. And there's also been significantly an increase in the input token size of the prompts that you can give to the LLMs. So there has been some strong interest in our community into infusing AI into MediaWiki. And so how do we do that? I want to start with a brainstorming exercise. And I know that the Americans who visited or went to the conference in Portland have already been through this. So I'll ask you to chime in if, as last resort. I'm looking at Brian because he had some really good points. But I want to ask everyone here who's seen this for the first time to help brainstorm some stuff. So let's work out a brute force solution. How do we solve this? So as a reminder, what do we need? We need the access to the data itself, a query, and an LLM. So with that, does anyone have any ideas on how we might want to approach this brute force to get an LLM to be able to find content and summarize it for MediaWiki? Yes?
I have a question. Are we looking to enhance our content we already have in MediaWiki?
No, it's just to search it. Yeah.
You need a rank system?
Let's start a little easier. I'm saying a brute force solution, not a.
Okay.
No, yeah. Yes, Carson.
Export everything to a PDF and
export everything to PDF and search through that. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted to start with. Okay. So what's the problem with that? Yes.
MediaWiki doesn't have an export to PDF feature?
Oh, I mean it does if you use the extension.
it's static.
Collection.
It's a static.
Static collection. Okay. All right, Brian. I need your help. What was your suggestion in April?
The vector embeddings and vector database.
We could do a vector search, vector embeddings, right? Because that's what's worked in the past before ChatGPT. And then with PDFs, I mean, you've got all the data right there, right? And you can maybe search through it and stuff like that. But it's not quite going to work out very well because there's a lot of issues with that. And I'll get to it right after this. The main challenge in designing an LLM system for MediaWiki is how do we deal with searching a large amount of text when LLMs can only accept limited input tokens and we pay by the token. Some approaches that we want to avoid is to train a special model for the wiki. It takes way too long to propagate those updates. You know, I don't want to tell a customer, hey, by the way, thanks for adding that thing to your page. Can you just wait like 5 days before it appears? That's unacceptable. It takes way too much computation. Like, you got to retrain a whole model. It's insane. Another thing is to feed an entire wiki into the input. You know, someone said, oh, you know, we have ChatGPT 128K. We don't need RAG anymore. Yes, you do, unless you're a billionaire and you have like 5,000 NVIDIA, you know, graphics cards, which none of us can afford. You can't do that, right? And does it even make sense to do that? You're giving a lot of stuff that might not even be necessary for the LLM to process. It might just you confuse it more. So our approach is indeed, as Robert said, a RAG-based approach, and that stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's basically saying you got 2 layers. Instead of passing everything to the LLM, let's search for some stuff. Let's make use of a search engine and return some stuff, and then just feed that limited amount of stuff into the LLM, and that is how you get around the token limitation. And you're able to leverage existing LLMs with this. The best way to do it, to do that first layer, is through something called semantic search, because you're asking a question, right? And you've got to figure out what the meaning of that question is to get the content from the pages in order to pass that in to the LLM to search through. So the LLM will use that wiki content to formulate a response. And we do prompt engineering to ensure that you know, the search is only among the relevant text, it's not cussing, it's not making stuff up, and the reply is, you know, a helpful, friendly, and relevant reply. The benefits of our RAG implementation is that the results will appear nearly instantaneously after being added to a wiki. That way we don't have to do that retraining. It's cost effective, and the responses will be returned in seconds. So I want to introduce everyone to WikiChat. It's your wiki's dedicated, friendly AI chatbot. You can ask questions about anything that's on your wiki, use any language you want to inquire about it, even if that content language is in a different language, and it'll respond with the information on your wiki. So how do you use it? If you're on a wiki that has it, you can visit special ask question on that wiki, type in a question, wait a few seconds, and the result will pop out pretty quickly. The benefits of our approach is that we leverage cutting edge LLMs, and we can update its latest models pretty much instantly. It only searches within your wiki, so that's really good for privacy. We've made sure that it doesn't, you know, hallucinate stuff from Wikipedia, when that's really important because we don't want it to just be a regular LLM. We want it to search from our content specifically. We also don't want to let one of our clients search for stuff on another client's wiki. It's capable of searching both public and private wikis, and we have security mechanisms to make sure that it's doing so in a secure manner. And there's no need to retrain the model for every update we have. And the cost is really low and affordable. It's magnitudes lower than April 2023, and it supports hundreds of human languages. So here's an example, very simple one. On our Help Center wiki, we have information on the taxes that one could you know, expect to pay. And so what's the VAT rate? Well, among our Help Center, we're not going to list out all 27 member states' VAT rates, so we just say that it depends. And then how do you connect a custom domain? And this is exactly how you would do it. We also have another psychology wiki, abnormal psychology wiki that I worked on when I was a student in college, and this is an example I just pulled up today about you know, just something about personality disorder. So there's things called clusters. And so I asked, what are the clusters? And it explains directly from the content of the wiki what they are. And I'll share the link later, but you'll see that this is not taken from Wikipedia. This is literally the content that you see on the wiki. So you can also ask questions in different languages, right? So if I ask qu'est-ce que la schizophrénie, it'll say, sorry, la schizophrénie est un trouble psychotique primaire, ce qui signifie que la psychose en est le symptôme principal. Let's remember that, because that is exactly what it is translated from English. Schizophrenia is a primary psychotic disorder, meaning psychosis is the main symptom. So it just takes it directly and translates it. And you can ask it whatever question you want. So that means, if someone speaks Polish and they don't understand any English, but they want to learn from this wiki, they don't have to read the wiki. They can literally just use WikiChat to learn. And you can even synthesize different pages content, and it'll, the questions that you ask will take that from different pages, and it'll produce the result for you. It'll also handle irrelevant questions. So I sent this to my friend. He asked us on the MyWikis Help Center who the first U.S. Secretary of Defense was. Yes, any LLM in general should be able to answer that, but not for this wiki. So it says we can't do that. So you can try it yourself. I'll share these links later. The applicability of this is wide-ranging, right? From personal wikis to gaming wikis to topic wikis to enterprise and organizational wikis. You can ask all these questions, and WikiChat will be able to handle them. Some features that we have under development are, eventually we aim to allow searching for images on the wiki with AI, dynamic chat-based UI, and have that context-aware chat history that you'll see from ChatGPT, cross-wiki knowledge synthesis, if there is that demand for it, and then, of course, speed improvements if we can get them. The reason I'm giving this presentation today in Europe again is because we are really happy to announce that we want to release this product in Europe with GDPR compliance. And so in Europe, we'll have to tell you actually what we're using. We're using Mistral AI, and their servers are based in Sweden, and that makes it fully compliant with GDPR regulations. Your data is never transferred outside of the EU borders. The data is never used to train LLM models, and if it is, you can sue Mistral for a lot of money. Each wiki's data is going to remain siloed, so we won't have any cross-contamination of data, and there's no privacy concerns, other than the fact that we just have to keep that secure. And WikiChat is a platform-agnostic solution because it's compatible with various either in-house models, like if you wanted to host Llama, we can do that, and cloud models like Mistral. In this case, we're using Mistral, but we could use an in-house model like VLM or Llama if we wanted to. And so we like to call this a harmonized RAG approach, and that's what we use to interact with these various models. So yeah, ready. We can change the models at a moment's notice, and that is to your benefit. And I'm really happy to announce that it is available now for MyWikis.eu wikis. I don't know if there's anyone here who uses MyWikis.eu. I hope that changes after the conference. But here's the introductory pricing. I'm so sorry. That should say euros, not dollars. My bad. But yeah, everyone who's attending this conference, you can get a 1-month free trial on a MyWikis.eu wiki and a free trial WikiChat if you email me. I'll post my email address over there. Yeah, let's work together. If you're interested in applying this to a non-MyWikis application, I'm more than happy to talk about that as well. I'd like to open the floor to questions now. Thank you.
So, looking forward to trying this out again. I kind of forgot about it after the last conference with so much going on. I'm wondering if the extension is or will be open source?
I don't have plans for it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's important for us to have this period where we can just develop it, and this is also a benefit of using MyWikis, right? So we want to keep it in-house, and we want to be able to focus on providing the best experience for our customers rather than being able to do that. We already have so much investment in Canasta. We're committed to open source, but this is something that we're cooking in-house for now.
Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey, for digging into this topic. So since sectional editing is famous in MediaWiki, do you index whole pages? And do the
We use the regular Elasticsearch search engine to help us with that.
And the chunking, how do you split the pages? Or do you put one page?
That is all abstracted away from us. We don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
So for chunks that you do some very basic chunking, then allow. Okay, that's lovely.
Oh, okay. Oh, if you're saying you have a super long page, yes. In that case, we have our special magic to use the LLM to chunk it down. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, there was a question over there.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Anton.
Did you ever think about generating the red links from the failure of the chatbot?
Red links?
Red links, if it didn't find the answer.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a great thing that we can add. I know that there's also been an idea of adding links to the generated output, and that's something that we'd love to add as well. Rich.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Thanks for this presentation. Building off of what you presented last year, I have been tasked specifically to find someone who can help us do this, and we will be reaching out to you.
Amazing. And I would love to serve my country and for all. Yes, Ike.
You mentioned keeping the customer data private between other customers. Are you at all concerned about sending their data to Mistral itself?
Well, there are very strict privacy regulations, right? When we work with a vendor, it's very important that not only we, but also they uphold what they promise to do. And from what we can see, and from the required notices that Mistral has to give as someone who's GDPR compliant, they have made it very clear that they will not send their user data for retraining, and that it is siloed. So if this data were to be, used improperly, that would be a huge breach of privacy on Mistral AI. That'd be a bigger problem than just our data, being mistreated. But to alleviate that, if we were to work with an enterprise customer who didn't feel comfortable with that, then you could even bring in your own model and host it on your own servers. So that's not a problem at all. We're very flexible. It's a platform agnostic service. I know everyone's dying for some coffee, so if we don't have any other questions, I'll hand it over back to Bernard.
Yeah.